Hola chicos. We have a grammar review ahead of us. On Monday and on Wednesday, we will have quizzes of ser and estar plus adjective. So I wanted to put together a review document and video that would help you prepare for this quiz. I have also put on Monday's lesson plan additional practice that you can do on studyspanish.com that will help you prepare for the quiz. I am going to ask you that when you take the quiz that you be honest, that you not use your notes, that you not use Google Translate, and that you do not use any of the documents that I have put together for you. You will get the answers to your quizzes as soon as you're done taking them, so that will give you immediate feedback. If your answers do not make sense, ask me. If your answers make sense, study so that you don't make the same mistakes again. Unfortunately, I am not able to put a link for the quiz on the topics lesson plan. However, I have written within the topics lesson plan exactly how you access the quiz, which is by going to the calendar and clicking on the quiz assessment. Let me know if you have any trouble with that. So what I envision for Monday is that you will log on, you will do your meditation, you will do your writing assignment with the email, you will watch this video of review, you will look over this document, which I have attached to the topic as well. You will do the practice study Spanish activities if you feel like you need them. And then at that point, you would take the quiz. All right, this document is very comprehensive, so I'm not going to talk to you a lot about it. I'm going to go over the main concept behind each section, and then I'm going to rely on you asking me and asking each other questions on the discussion board. I will also remind you that I now have office hours on Wednesdays from 9 to 10. I only had one student show up today, but if you need me before next Wednesday, just let me know, and we can certainly set up a Zoom meeting so that I can support you with any questions that you might have. All right, so looking at this, we have the repaso de ser and estar, and we just went over a quick review of when we use ser. Always use ser plus noun, always use ser in the passive voice, always use ser with places when you're discussing origin, always use ser with events that you cannot touch. For example, a wedding, a meeting, a conference. Those are all things that you can't touch. And where the wedding, conference, and meeting takes place affects its identity. That's why we use it with ser. A wedding or a conference in Hawaii is a whole different ballgame than a wedding or a conference in Nebraska. So we would say la boda y la conferencia son en Hawaii. Use ser with adjectives when you're describing the norm of something, the essence of something, the character of something, the personality of something, the identity of something. Use it with occupation. Your occupation makes you a unique individual compared to people with other occupations. So as a teacher, I am a different human than my husband, who's an accountant. Use ser with time, possession, nationality, political and religious affiliations, and relationships. I have provided you with examples of all of those. These are uses with ser that we've seen pretty much on and off for the last several years. Estar. Never use estar plus noun. Noun is the name of something. A name is something's identity. Ser is all about identity, whereas estar is all about feelings, conditions, states, things that are within you that can change. Remember to use estar with our progressives. I am walking, I was walking, I will be walking. Use estar for location. And here's one of those moments where if you think of estar as temporary and ser as permanent, it can throw you because you're like, Hawaii is always in the Pacific Ocean. It doesn't matter that it's always permanently in the same place. Yo estoy en mi casa está en Hawaii, Hawaii está en el Pacífico. So when we're talking about places, ser is origin. Yo soy de España. Ser is for events that you can't touch. La ceremonia es en la iglesia. Estar is for physical location. Yo estoy en Hawaii. Alrighty, as we continue on, we're now looking at estar with adjectives. The easiest way to distinguish between ser and estar with adjectives is with ser, add person to the end of it. I am optimistic. Do I want to say I am an optimistic person? I do. So then I would say yo soy optimista. If it's estar, I can exchange the verb estar with to feel or to look. So I am stressed. I look stressed. I feel stressed. Once I've taken the test, I will no longer be stressed. So that's a condition that can change within me. So yo estoy estresada. I think that's the easiest way to distinguish between the two. You can use estar with appearance if there's been a sudden change in appearance. So if somebody's tall all the time, you would say es alto. But if somebody's 5 foot tall in May and 5.5 foot tall in August, you would say, wow, you look tall. Estás alto. Because what you're doing is you're focusing on the fact that they are much taller than the last time that you saw them. All right, going back real quick to the concept of something being permanent and something not being permanent. A lot of times you guys confuse death and craziness and you use ser with them. Because you think death is permanent, right? And you think some people can become insane before they're born and they remain insane during their entire life because they're suffering from a permanent mental illness. However, it is not considered to be standard for the human body to be dead, and it's not considered to be standard for the human body to be insane. If you died, there was a change in the condition of your body. If you became insane at some point during your development, even if it was in utero, something happened to you that made your brain not function the way it was designed to function. Therefore, muerto and loco are always used with estar. All right, we have our adjectives with different meanings. With ser and estar, remember that with ser, they're still tied into identity. With estar, they're still tied into how you feel or how you look. There's only a handful of adjectives that do this. You can memorize them or you can understand the concept and distinguish between which meaning you need, whether you're talking about the person's identity or you're talking about how the person feels. So we've got listo, contrasting between being intelligent and being ready. Verde, between a color and not being ripe. Aburrido, between being a boring human or being in a state of boredom. Orgulloso, being an arrogant human versus being proud of somebody, which is a feeling. Rico, being rich, is in having a lot of money versus something that tastes good at the moment. Malo, being bad versus being sick. Bueno, being good versus being a sexy hottie. Be careful with that one. It's a little weird if you walk up to somebody and you start off a conversation by saying, hey, I'm a sexy hottie. Moreno, when it's ser, you're naturally brown like me. When it's estar, it's the result of something you've done to yourself, which most of the time is going to be going to the beach or getting tanned. All right, the last little bit of review that we have here is adjectives that have different meanings, whether you place them before or after the noun. So they tie into this lesson because we're still talking about adjectives, but they don't really have anything to do with ser or estar. So you want to follow the rules and the uses of ser and estar when you choose between those two verbs. But keep in mind, you might not even need ser or estar. You might be saying something like, I have a new book. And then you'd be using tener. All right. Let's see. So if we go down here, I've given you the general concept behind when the adjective is used before the noun. When the adjective is before the noun, it's not providing anything new. It's not providing anything valuable about the noun. When the adjective is used after the noun, it provides additional information about that noun. So if I say I have a new car that's new to me, you don't really know anything about the car. Tengo un nuevo coche. But if I say I have a new car that I just got from the dealership, you know the age of that car. You know that it's brand spanking new. Yo tengo un coche nuevo. You know that nobody has owned that car before me. All right. There's only a handful of adjectives that this happens to as well. I have listed the adjectives that I want you to focus on. I have told you what they mean when it's before, what it means when it's after, and I've provided you with an example on either side. So with viejo, nuevo, antiguo, it's all about relationships when it comes before. When it comes after, it's all about age. Pobre before is showing pity. Pobre afterwards is telling you the family has no resources. Único before just means only, as in only one. Único after means you're unique, you're different. Grande before drops down to the word gran, and it means great. Grande after just means large. And then I have ended this document with a few general reminders about adjectives that are important. So remember that most of the time in Spanish, adjectives are going to come after the noun. So when in doubt, put the adjective after. Limiting adjectives, adjectives of quantity, demonstratives, and possessive adjectives all come before. So, mi primera clase, 3 perros, muchos amigos, este libro. Remember, agreement is important. You will lose points on the quiz when you do this. Pay attention to this when you're writing your email. So if it's a feminine word, make the adjective feminine. If it's masculine, make it masculine. If it's plural, make it plural. If it's plural feminine, make it plural feminine. And then remember that adjectives that end in ista do not end in isto. I hope this helps you guys prepare for the quiz. And if you have any questions, please, please, please reach out to me as quickly as possible. Thank you.